chair and form a circle, sit down here. The rest of us are going to be surrounding that circle. You can either sit or stand, it doesn't really matter. You can pile it up in place. Form a chair and circle. Join the other group so that can we just form a circle? Surround this circle, you can either sit or stand, whatever piece of most comfortable for us. Alright. Now this group sitting in the middle.
No, you're in that, I'm sitting, you're sitting.
Yes. This group sitting in the middle. For the next 3 minutes, we are going to discuss what it looks like. What does it really mean to be a mentor? What do we think the role involves? Our thoughts, our own ideas. Really, as we said, there's no real structure to it and plan, so it's up to us to create it. The rest of us are going to focus on truly listening to what's being said. The next question that follows, we will be discussing, and the first question kind of will link to it. So it's really important that we do listen. And we also reflect on how easy we're finding it, how difficult we're finding it. So off we go, 3 minutes. What does it mean to be a mentor? No.
General discussion.
General discussion. Let me just start my monologue in 3 minutes. I'm not checking my time, I'm just checking starting the stopwatch.
I'll kick off. I thought one of the things I think is really important with mentors is somebody that's not within your day-to-day kind of process of doing work. It's actually somebody who's outside of your normal run-of-the-mill stuff, because you're able to take yourself out of that and think in slightly different ways. And I think that's kind of a critical part of being a mentor, is not necessarily being directly involved in what people are doing. It's quite valuable.
I think trust and respect are really important, actually. So obviously we might be seen as something that's very successful, etc. And the kids may be quite nervous. And actually, I think the key thing is to actually put them in a very comfortable place where their values and their ideas are just as valuable as anything that we may have done in the past. And I think forming that sort of respecting them, listening to them, and actually understanding what they're trying to communicate and where they're trying to go. Because obviously they may have problems in actually communicating where they want to go and their ideas. So I think for me that's quite important, actually, just to get down and be one-to-one sort of thing. But at the same time, still hold that area of responsibility that we need to guide and actually, help them along.
I was told a mentor should never say you should always say you could.
So that's really interesting. Yeah, because I think there's an element in it which is a mentor is someone who's able to bring something out of you that was there but you didn't realise was there. That I'm thinking back to discussions I've had with people when they've then gone on and taken that decision. They've gone, yeah, no, I realised that actually. Yeah, it was just a different way of approaching it that made people realise something. I think that's very valid, actually.
Yeah, I think respect is probably one of the most important side of it. I think I really agree with you, and also I think rewarding for what has been done that is correct. Because I think coming from what we do, knowing a lot or a little bit about what we do, you could tend to go, well, no, this isn't right. You should be doing like this. And as you were saying, just give them okay, this is how I do it, and this is how you should do it. But in a way, I always found that really depressing when people did that to me when I was learning. Because I always thought, well, I've got my own approach. Maybe you could spend a couple of minutes just looking at how I'm doing it, just to see whether it's working or not. So I think it's an important part of it as well.
I think for me, it's challenging the thought process. So rather than critiquing the idea or the concept that the person's developed, it's really understanding what process they went through to come up with whatever it is.
Why did you get to this?
And really then challenging the thought process rather than the end result.
Well, for me, the question is how, and allowing them to try and formulate their own journey of getting there, and then actually going through the process with them, listening to what they're saying, and actually just asking 1 or 2 questions, just to actually maybe steer them in a different direction. But at the same time, it's like, how do you get there? This is up to you, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think it's about them, not us.
I think just playing back to several things that were said here, in my experience, what's the hardest thing in a way is getting out of your own head and into their heads, and just as you say that they've all got skills and ideas and talents, but trying to put your prejudices aside and your pre-thinking aside, find out what those are, and then support them, which is really hard to do, actually. So in my experience, that's a key thing for a mentor to do.
And that's time. Thank you very much. very much. Some really useful ideas there and thoughts about what it means to be a mentor, from showing trust, showing respect, rather than telling them you shouldn't, you could, giving them feedback without putting them down. With that